Hola, me llamo Brian Rodríguez. Suscríbete a 110 Fútbol.
Another week, another 2 matches for LAFC.
That's right, a frustrating midweek loss to Austin followed by a gutsy win in Columbus on Saturday.
There is plenty to talk about heading into the last week before an international break.
Okay, but seriously, what's going on?
What are you talking about?
Well, you're not cracking any jokes or trying to be cute, make this cold open all silly, and you're wearing a suit. Is this rented?
Vince, stop. You gotta dress for success. Okay, and I, for one, will not take any chances for the Galaxy Open Cup match on Wednesday.
All right, fair enough. This is
LAFC 360, let's fucking go! Welcome again to LAFC 360, the show that celebrates our beloved black and gold. Clearly, as you saw, I'm very excited for the US Open Cup, but before we get to that, we've got to talk about last week. Here to do it with me is Max Bretos.
2 words, Connor: anger management. By the way, speaking of 2, LAFC 2-0 in Florida, 2-0 in Ohio.
if only LAFC was running for president. That would make perfect sense.
Those are great states to have, right?
Yeah.
Ohio and Florida, you're going to be the president.
And Vince Rosa.
I brought it today.
Yeah.
Wow, you did bring it.
Yeah, and then you wore that suit.
What do you mean?
What's going on with that?
I didn't get the memo. I'm just
barbecue
my
color.
regular fare. I feel very underdressed here.
I know, Bretos.
Okay,
Raise your game.
Suit next week. I'm bringing.
No, it doesn't mean you have to wear a suit.
Suit and sombrero next week.
Tuxedo. We all wear tuxedos.
Tuxedo, done.
Before
Tuxedo
we get
from your
going,
prom.
don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here and hit that thumbs up. I'm confident in my job on this show, but Vince is a delicate flower who needs constant validation to perform at a satisfactory level. So please, for Vince's
He's
sake,
not wrong.
like this video. He needs it. Also, towards the end of
very
the
fragile.
show, we will reveal who won last week's Players to Watch. Maybe it was you who won this team-signed hat here.
Yeah.
Okay? So stick around, and we'll pick a winners.
I like the shake. There you go.
Yeah,
This hat.
give it
Yeah.
little mix-up. There we go. Okay.
Hear that?
Right, chat room doing great. So we say hello to everyone there.
What's up,
Yeah,
everyone?
yeah, hello
2-1
everyone
and
in
1 in
chat.
rain delays, Daniel. Nice.
They're on fire. I love that they all greet each other too. Like a little, nice little happy community there. I love you guys.
I don't like wearing pants, though. It was,
No one asked that
No,
question.
no one asked. Could be a little longer on the hems, but otherwise it's
Right?
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
let me just move us along.
go for it.
Connor, is that Connor Burgundy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Connor talking about pants. Now let's get on to why people are really here. It's the storylines that dominated the weekend. It's time for hashtag What's Trending.
What's your name?
Where's my chop?
Chop.
There it
Ah.
is. All right, let's start right at the top, and let's go right to the top. Let's go to LAFC head coach who talked after the game, LAFC head coach Steve Cherundolo, who talked after the Columbus game about a little bit different approach.
He's there.
There he is. He's there.
Well,
A little
maybe.
different tactical approach tonight to deal with weather and a lot of congested schedule, a lot of games at the moment, and it worked. We wanted to split the minutes between our front five, our 5 attackers, to get fresh legs out there for exactly those moments. When you are sitting a little deeper and defending a deeper block, you need some explosiveness in the offensive end, and Carlos gave us exactly that. And his ability to finish, it speaks for itself. The amount of goals he scored, so. It worked out how we expected, and we're quite happy with that. Yeah, we have a lot of games, and the forecast for today was like 90 degrees, and so conserving energy and managing the game and the tempo of the game becomes very important, which is something we tried to do, and I believe we did, and I think we have a lot in our tank left for Wednesday.
Refreshing.
Really refreshing.
On a lot of
breath
levels,
of fresh air.
to hear a professional coach basically lay out the game plan and say, yeah, we had a plan. It's not just our will to win or our mentality, but 2, the fact that they literally sat down and game planned out the game and didn't just say, hey, it's all plan A or bust. He's sitting down, he's saying, we're not at our best. Let me give my team the best chance to win.
From the beginning, LAFC was going to play a certain style, and it's sexy, and it's showtime. This was not that. This was not a game that you put in the Louvre, okay? Not that they're going to put any MLS game in the Louvre at this point. One day, but this is not the one. But it worked, and LAFC, because of the long stretch, it was going to be very challenging. Midweek Austin, weekend Columbus, going back weekend in Philadelphia, midweek Galaxy, San Jose on the weekend. this is, horses for courses. So they didn't press as hard in that first half. If they could get to halftime scoreless, which they did, they had a shot. They bring in the heavy hitters. They get a result. This worked perfectly for Steve Cherundolo. Was it great on the eyes? No. But what takes precedent over everything else? Results. They got it.
Was giving your team the best chance to win. I mean, they still have their principles, right? So they still play a little bit like LAFC. He talked about explosiveness.
And we saw that in the second half.
Yeah, he brought on the forwards. He sat down. I'm guaranteeing he sat down and said, like, guys, I know you're gassed. I'm watching you guys play these games. I'm watching you guys at training. You look tired. We've got injuries. We've got all this going on. Guys are playing 90 minutes when we wish we could rotate you a little bit. So here's my plan. Let's get to halftime, 0-0, and then we unleash the horses and we go for it.
I also like how transparent he was. Not to say
Always.
that,
Yeah.
but he's so straight to the point and transparent about everything. Where it's like, no, fans can ask these genuine questions, and he's gonna give genuine answers.
Yeah. Well, I love it because like there's some coaches that are like, well, if I tell them what we did, then they'll know. It's like,
But we all
knew. We all
knew it, and he's going to come up front because this looked very different to almost every LAFC game we've seen in the past. And you have 4 hours of rain delay. You have a team that's leggy, that's away from home, that's thinking in their minds, we have to finish this game or it won't be played, or we have to sit here the next day. We have to finish this game so we can catch our flight. There's all this in play, and they were able to keep their cool and by necessity find this strategy, which I don't think is going to be duplicated much more this season, but this was the time to use it. This was the time to use it. It worked.
And we got the result, and I think
Got the result.
That's
Got
very
all 3
important.
points. And
Well,
another win in Ohio.
When you were saying like, I love to hear this. I wonder if in a loss or a draw, if you would have heard the same type of thing. I guess that's where you get really refreshing when you still get to really hear the honest coach.
Well,
But again,
you want the honesty no matter what the result, right? And I think that's one thing I can at least appreciate to some extent with Steve Cherundolo.
well, his priorities seemed aligned with what LAFC fans want. And I'm not saying that's always a good thing, right? Like we've sat here, years have passed and gone like, hey, maybe you rest some guys, maybe you do this. And everyone's like, what? Results. These guys get paid lots of money. Force them to play. But this era or this year of LAFC fan has been a little bit different in the fact that they're like, yeah, I understand. Like there's a lot going on. There's this and this here. And like, we trust you, Steve Cherundolo, which again, from 6 months ago or even 3 months ago when everyone was like, who is this guy? To fully trusting the coach, like that's been a huge,
You know what did it?
huge turnaround.
In touch with Steve Cherundolo.
In touch.
I trust him with
Great
my
show.
life. I entrust him with my life
because
now.
we
By the way,
humanized him. huh?
Boris went to the game, and he didn't have to pay for parking because he got an hour late. He said it was 5 hours of beer concessions open, so it was a huge win if you went to
Wow.
this Columbus game.
Columbus.
I think that the players are going to feel very satisfied because this. We didn't know what was going to be the most important game when we saw the stretch of Philadelphia, Austin, Columbus, Galaxy, San Jose. But this Columbus game feels like it's that because it bridges it. And obviously, we know what's happening Wednesday, and we'll talk about that, and that's going to be massive. But with that Austin results, everything is right in the world. They're the best record in MLS because they took care of business.
I like
feels
that
like-
everything is right in the world.
Everything is right.
It feels like bonus points
Doloneta.
because all we wanted was them to rest some guys, stay out of injuries, and maybe get a point. And now they got all 3, and they stay top of the table. So everything feels like cake, icing on the cake now.
So in this game, we talked a little bit about the tactics, but a goal came from not only off the bench, but one of, we'd say, the heavy hitters of the top 3. Carlos, Brian, Chicho. Looked a little better. Is this a story of this front 3 finally clicking, or is it still too premature to say that? What are we thinking?
But then I'm a little bit in the minority. A lot of people thought that was one of Chicho's best games. And while he did some very good things, I still worry about him a little bit when I see him run out in a press and just fly the middle of the field and allow the team to play an entry pass into the 6. But to your point, Connor, is this the front 3? I mean, we're finally getting to actually see them spend more time together. And the more we're seeing them, yes, I think the more we're liking of them. So I'm reserving judgment, I guess, because I think they can get there. I don't think they're there yet, but I agree with you. This is, especially, man, the way Brian's come back with just like a vengeance. I mean, we were like, hey, let's see what he does. But even from that little cameo against Austin, you were like, this guy's fired up. He's bought in. He's ready to go, and he's making
In the nick
better
of time.
decisions too. Yeah.
How comforting to know to look at that bench and see all these players, which, Vela was being rested. Sifu was on there. He came on, scored the goal late. This was, may not have been like this. There could have been a situation where Brian or Jesus were not ready to come in, but they were, and Brian hit the ground running, and that is wonderful to see at a great, great time. I think the conversation, Vela scoring a goal, in back-to-back games is a huge relief. This was a great goal. This was a really important goal. And when I think we all celebrated it as loud as we celebrated any goal this season.
Oh, I got pumped on my couch.
So pumped.
Watching on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because it was a kind of a game where you're just like,
I
just want to get through this. Yeah, I was like, I just want to get through this. I just want to get through this. And then the second Carlos starts to sprint, you're like, this could be on. This could be on. And he bumps off the Williams, holds possession of the ball, and then just right away finish. So smart to not take an extra touch there.
Okay, look, Jesus Cardenas nailed it. Chicho's the one that won the ball in the Sifu goal. I thought this was the best Chicho performance of the season. Now, the bar is not 2021 levels, not even close. It took a while to get into full fitness. Didn't start the opener. Mahala emerged, and that cost some minutes for Chicho. But he went the distance here. He was able to push through and provide. He was able to make a difference in this game. He was close to scoring goals. I was pretty convinced he would score a goal here in the second half. He didn't, but he was involved. This is a step in the right direction, certainly for Chicho. But there's a long way to go yet. But this is a trio you wanted to start from the beginning of the season.
Yes. And they needed time together, right? That's the caveat. They do need time together. I think the whole LAFC team, we've proven, needs that time together so it becomes second nature. But guys, the moment you're all waiting for, the big guest, he's here.
Yeah.
Just got his 4th shutout in what was a crazy game in Columbus. The number 1 Max at LAFC. Sorry, Max Bretos.
It's no question. I had that belt for a little bit.
It's Max Crépeau. Max, how are you doing today? There he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
How's everything, guys? Good?
We're a lot better now that you're here. We teased that you were going to be here, and the chat was going wild, and so they're very excited that you're here. I'll start us off with the line of questioning, though. Maxime, if you play in this league long enough, you're going to deal with some rain delays or weather-type delays. What do you do during that time period, especially when you already have warmed up, you came out on the field, 3 minutes in, go right back in for another hour?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was my first MLS delay, if I'm not mistaken, or second, but that was the longest for sure. I had one in the USL days, Ottawa against Atlanta, and game was at 4. Played a little bit, and then at midnight the game was called off, and so at minute 56, so we came back 2 weeks later to finish the game. But in the locker room, small story. But in the locker room, I mean, there's a little bit of seriousness, of course, because you can't check out 100%. You got to stay focused. But when we came back in the locker, and the kickoff keep pushing back, but get pushing back. And so we were just a little bit serious, but in the meantime, relax, because you cannot be 100,000% focused on the task when you don't know when you have to go. And so a little bit of relaxing, talk with the guys. We watch Mbappe scored for PSG. Then when we had to go to play, obviously we switch it on back again.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's something to keep you busy. But it must be impossible. But the news, both teams have to deal with the same situation. Maxime, we talked about the tactics that were used, a little different here. From your perspective, and certainly in that first half where LAFC let Columbus maintain possession a fair bit, how are things different for you, and how do you think the club executed that?
Yeah, we wanted to be high off the pitch, and so the first few minutes we wanted to be high up. Obviously, Columbus did well keeping possession of the ball, and so there's some certain moments that you need to be a little bit lower and keep them in front of you, which we did. We managed to go through a little bit of time that they had possession. And so there's highs and lows, and after that we picked up our rhythm. And so once we picked it up, we had some flashes, we had some moment to go forward, and then we did defend well pretty much every situations. And so we were in a good space, even though we did not have 100% of possession of the ball, of course.
We have a bunch of fans in the chat right now, Maxime, giving us a bunch of questions. One, on more of a general note, you're a different Maxime when you step on that field and the whistle blows. How do you mentally prepare for a match before, and what changes when that whistle blows to start the match?
I mean, that's a good question. I believe I do this type of stuff unconsciously. It's not something that I do. Okay, I'm getting in my game zone or game rhythm. It's just the fact that I come to the stadium around 2 hours before the game, or obviously with the team when we're on the road, and slowly I'm getting into that little bubble of focusing and visualization a bit of visualize what's going on, what will happen in the game, certain moments. And after that, when I step on the field, well, it's all business, right? It's making sure that we're leaving the field with points, and that we are dealing with good situations, and we're making sure that we're making the right plays. And so obviously there's a bit of switch of mentality, but I mean, it's more, it's a natural switch. It's not like anything is forced.
Well, speaking of taking care of business, you obviously know that on Wednesday you have a very big match in front of you, a knockout match. What I want to ask you is, going into this, because I know when you first went down there, you guys were talking about it, you really wanted to be that first team that got 3 points at Dignity Health Sports Park. It's not 3 points on the line, but it's a chance to knock them out, and it's a second chance in a lot of ways. So what do you key off of more? Kind of the bad taste that was left in your mouth from the decisions that didn't go your way, or is it just revenge and business as usual? What's getting you pumped up for this game?
Plenty. It's not 1 point. It's pretty much a mix, like you mentioned. Obviously, we want to go to the final and win the whole U.S. Open Cup. That's number one. And whoever's we're facing, we want to get there and get 3 points. And obviously now it's against Galaxy in Carlson, and so it's gonna. Of course, we know what happened last time we went down there, but that's not really too much in the back of our minds at the moment. We know that we have to pick up rhythm and pick up where we left against Columbus and really dominate the play. This is what we need to do, is to go there and play our football, play our way. And if we do that, well, we'll be more than fine.
Max, what do you think's easier to win, the Canadian Championship or the U.S. Open Cup?
This guy.
Oh my God. The Canadian Championship, I love my country. You guys know it, huh? I love my country. The fact that the CPL right now got into the Canadian Championship makes things a little bit more excited, because when I was playing for Montreal back then, we started the tournament and you were already in semifinals. So just because of the amount of team in the system, now that it's becoming about 12 to 14 teams. So it's getting better as volume, but it is more difficult to win the US Open Cup naturally because of the numbers of teams in the competition.
We all pulling for Canadian soccer, and we're all very excited to see that emergence. Because I remember that, Maxime. It was a much different time when there were no MLS teams in Canada, and slowly we've built that. It's exciting times, and the future looks very bright. Speaking of Canada, one of our viewers asked if you are a poutine fan. I will add this. We talked to Mccarthy. He said he was a big cheesesteak fan, but he can't get good ones here in Los Angeles. He was going to ship them in. Any plans of, if you do enjoy poutine, which I imagine you do being from Quebec, but I'm not going to assume anything, that you would ship some of that into Los Angeles so you can get it just right?
I'm definitely not going to ship a poutine from Montreal. Definitely not going to do.
McCarthy, what can I tell you? That McCarthy guy, he's going to ship meat and cheese and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no, I do have maybe once or twice a year poutine in the off season, and that's it. That's all home.
Twice a year or a season.
Yeah. I'm not a big poutine guy, but I love it when it's time to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It keeps you that full for that long.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And so, maybe once or twice in the off season, and that's about it.
And
what's a food you do miss from Canada? What's a food that you can't get here that you think about regularly that you wish you could have in Los Angeles?
Honestly, not so much. There's great food, great restaurants here, but I would go with the grandma's food. Grandma cannot come here, so I like the comfy food from grandma, of course.
Connor says anything at Tim Hortons, but that's
I have never gone on the record saying that, but thank you, Max.
Sorry.
In the off season as well.
It's just a glorified Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, it's got a better name. Tim Hortons.
Max Bretos brought up your net mate, I guess you would call him, or your goalkeeping partner, John Mccarthy. We had him on last week. We've had a lot of fun with John on the podcast, on other things. Just tell me what it's like being around that guy at training. He's got to be like, I mean, how do you keep a straight face?
Yeah, Johnny is great. We have a good chemistry. And so we have a great chemistry on and off the field. We push each other, which is amazing. And so we're a good little team together, and with Tom as well. It's funny because you want to work as hard as you can every single day and push ourselves, but in the meantime, it's always with a smile on our face. And so it's a great combination, and we're having fun. And in the meantime, we're really working hard. And so with John, it's been more than great. He's a great professional and a great guy.
I will say I saw someone in the chat trying to coin the term Great Wall of Quebec. I like that a lot. What do you think?
You have to say it in French, though.
I did 3 years of French in elementary school. And
there you go.
La Muraille du Québec. La Muraille du Québec. This is what it is.
Oh, yes.
I was going to say, let's not embarrass ourselves anymore in front of Maxime. But Maxime, it's always a great time to chat with you, and we always appreciate you taking the time to do anything with us. So thank you so much. Congratulations on the 4th shutout. Happy belated birthday.
Yeah,
as they sing happy birthday to you for 32-52, which I thought was one of the more touching moments after that match. But we'll let you go as you get prepared for that big Galaxy match. So thank you so much, Max. A lot of M's in there.
All right. Yeah, thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you, Maxime.
I guess you can't really eat poutine if you're a professional athlete, right? It's
I know there's
French
a lot
fries,
of, I think we
cheese curds,
could have
gravy.
prepared these questions maybe a little
Well, I
bit
think
more.
goalkeepers are probably like, I got into goalkeeping so I didn't have to run. So why would I eat a food that's going to then
I know
force
the game's changed a little bit in the past 20 years.
The game has changed a little bit. But let's get back. Maxime was great, and it was you guys sending in. The chat was flying, which was awesome.
Yeah, we couldn't keep up with the questions.
Yeah, it's great to have big guests like that. So yeah, sorry we couldn't ask all your questions, because literally by the time I would see one I liked, it was gone. But it's great to have big guests like that.
I still have a hashtag trending.
You do. That's what I was just about to say.
Thank you.
From one Max.
Everyone hold your horses. We're not
from one Max to another, Max number 2, as I like to call him.
Numero dos.
Some people in the company probably put me number 3 or 4 of the Maxes, which is fine.
Well, Odenheimer left, so you got to move up.
Yeah, Odenheimer's out of here.
By default.
So we talked to Maxime, and obviously they see that 2.5-week break. This is incredibly valuable for these players because they are going to get their bodies right. They're going to get ready for the next stretch of the season. But you have still 2 more games to go before we get to that. It's going to be interesting how they manage this because you come back from Columbus, Monday, Tuesday training, you get that Wednesday game. It's great you don't have to travel. That is the big win here. You're going to be in L.A. You don't have to get on a plane, I should say. So 2 games in L.A. But you can't go into that break on a downer. The Columbus game really built it.
I tell you how you manage this. You go all in for the Galaxy match, and you don't even worry about Saturday at all.
San Jose at home.
You don't.
You don't. I mean, look.
There's just too much on the line here because this is a gift. This game is a gift. You get another shot after the disappointment of losing them earlier this season.
That's why I brought it up to Maxime, because I think that's got to be front and center in their minds. You don't get second chances very often in this business. They had their one chance to go there and be that team. That could be the first team that won at Dignity Health Sports Park. It went sideways in a lot of different ways, but they still have to look in the mirror and say, we didn't do enough to take care of business. And now, out of the blue, they get a gift handed to them. And it's not just another game at Dignity Health Sports Park, but it's a knockout game.
But also, it's not that you're ignoring the San Jose game. You just throw everything you possibly can.
Yeah, and see what you have left for Saturday.
And you know what? A depleted LAFC squad could very well still beat a San Jose squad, but you just reassess when that time comes. Don't think about it right now. But it's not like we're just going to be like,
I wonder if more so after the Columbus win, that plays in even more what Connor's saying. Because if you're Steve Cherundolo and you're saying, let's go all in on this, even a depleted team is a pretty good team. And look what we did in Columbus. Not just depleted, not just injury riddled, but we had to travel, we had to deal with delays, and we were still managed to pull the game plan off. So maybe you say, look, I'm going, guys, he comes in the room and goes, guys, I want to beat the Galaxy. I want to knock them out. San Jose will deal with it when we get there, but right now, do not think about anything at all because we want to win this game, and then just know that I know you're tired, but we're going to get a little break coming up.
Yeah, Micah mentioned some of the Galaxy players arrested. I know Chicharito came off the bench.
Yep.
They've also not played their first team in prior U.S. Open Cup games. They let the younger guys get them, and they got them to this stage. So that's certainly something in favor of the Galaxy. But this is a great second chance. LAFC got a second shot at the Galaxy when they beat them in the playoffs. The Galaxy beat Minnesota, but this is different. This is away. But everything in Columbus set the table for you to be able to do this. And to get that result, you didn't get help from Mother Nature, but you overcame that. And now everything that's happened there was the right move because you have Carlos Vela rested having 45 minutes.
And
Ryan Rodriguez, too.
I also want to say and emphasize how important this game is. There have been many El Traficos in the existence of this rivalry, 5 years now, a lot of which have not gone LAFC's way, and a lot of which have been draws that LAFC had kind of given up a lead. That being said, LAFC has won the only knockout match between the two teams, probably the most important match.
There's fine margins.
There's
fine margins in this as well, but the one thing that reigns supreme is LAFC is not one down there.
So I can say right now that LAFC has won the games that matter, right? The games that are win or go home. This, on Wednesday, is a win or go home match. So I would like to say this time next week that LAFC is still the only team to win the games that matter. And if they fail to do so, it will be a big failure on LAFC.
Well, I don't want to keep harping on the second chance, but remember when they were going down to play the Galaxy, we said, if they can win at Dignity Health Sports Park, that sets them up for success throughout the rest of the season. One, because it just buoys you beat your rival, but two, they'll know that when they go into the playoffs, they can go anywhere and win, and they didn't. And we didn't discuss too much about it because we were like, well, we still feel good about this team. But now again, here's your second chance to get that out of the way, just one more thing off the checklist, to go along with, obviously, MLS Cup is the ultimate goal. But just get that out of the way. Maybe you don't even have to face the Galaxy in the playoffs, but at least you have that in your back pocket. And I think that's why it's so important.
And I just want to say, this couldn't be a better storm for LAFC to be coming into. Yes, it's been a weird, very heavy schedule, but this is coming off a very bad taste in your mouth against the last time we played the Galaxy. This is poor referee decision, a game we knew we could have at least drawn or won. These players are angry. The coaching staff is angry. The fans are angry. We want to go there and destroy them.
But the Galaxy are down. But we've said this
We've been here before.
where LAFC went there. The Galaxy needed a result to pick themselves off the mat, and they got that at LAFC's expense. Hopefully, this bucks that trend where LAFC can go there, seize the opportunity, and advance.
Yes, we've been here before.
We've been here. It feels all
We've
too
said this so
familiar.
Too many times, so don't make us have to talk about this game.
I would rather
again,
the Galaxy
please.
were all
Yes.
guns blazing, but that's not the case.
We're begging you, LAFC, please don't make us have to talk about this again. But LAFC isn't the only team who won this weekend. Angel City beat Kansas City Current 1-0 on Saturday as well. And the ladies will be back to discuss it all in a few hours right here on the 110 Football YouTube channel. You do not want to miss that show, so just leave it on your browser.
Yes. And by the way, I, unlike Max Bretos, do not revel in toilet humor.
See what he did?
I'm a very serious young man. Nevertheless, we've asked LAFC players an incredibly important question. How do you hang your toilet paper?
Hacia arriba. Hacia arriba, sí, hacia arriba.
Something it goes over, so like when you pull it, it goes down, and yeah.
On the outside.
On the outside?
Yeah.
That's the only right answer, right?
Yeah.
From the outside.
Okay, the only right answer. Yeah. Thank you. That's all the questions we have. You gotta be free.
Which way does it come up?
Yeah.
The outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you?
No, I do outside too.
Outside, yeah,
That's the
okay.
only right answer. I
Yeah, that's the only-
Poncho was the only one who said
You said
inside.
inside? Okay.
Under.
Under.
Wait. No, over.
You sure?
No, under. Yeah, don't make me doubt. Under.
Okay. Hey, whatever you like, man. Yeah.
Yeah, under.
De abajo. Sí, el papel. Papel del baño. El que está aquí. Sí, así. No, hasta aquí. Lo pujo. Sí. ¿Así? No. El mío tiene como un ganchito así y está aquí. Entonces eso lo pujo.
Okay.
Es normal.
Who created?
Great content once again.
Wait a minute.
But from
The
110
question
football.
is like, I've never even thought about that, and the players thought the same way about how you hang it. I just
Some
grab
of
it and
them
put it on a
did.
rack.
Yes, some of them did too.
Brian, I love these because we're learning a lot
Such
more
an
about Brian.
odd question, but I guess you got good answers.
You know what I think it is? This year, I bet he's switched it around. I bet he's doing over now, and that's why he's has a little more pep in his step.
You should go back to training and ask him.
Yeah.
So, you still doing that weird
We
thing with
scout
your
out
toilet
the PC bathroom.
paper? You know, actually, knowing Brian, instead of that, he's like, no, I got a toilet paper holder now that's straight up and down, so it doesn't matter.
I like how
Put it on the top.
Brian almost recreated himself on the toilet.
I know,
He's like,
right?
oh, yeah.
I know.
He's like,
And then
oh.
you flush it like this, and then
Where's this?
how you wipe.
Okay, where's that?
Right.
Maybe there's a bidet.
It's another double game week, and it all kicks off in 2 days in Carson as LAFC resumes its run at the U.S. Open Cup against the Galaxy. What better time than to debut a new game? It's called
Oh, yeah.
Pandora's Box of Predictions.
Pandora, releasing physical and emotional curses upon mankind.
See that? Look at that, smoking.
Wait, how you doing?
So
How you
we've
doing
got
that
a
with the
box
voice?
here, and it's full
Smells
of
like Venice Beach in here.
Some flatter the black and gold, and some very much do not. We will each reach in, grab one, and argue for it, regardless of whether or not we like it. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
No, I want to try.
Let's get this
I want
over
to try
with.
to torpedo you more in the prompter.
Where's the smoke coming from?
Hey, Neeson Mob
Yeah.
Squad, welcome. Good way to come
Check
out.
your pants.
Yeah, there's a lot going
are
on
you going
down
first?
Is this more toilet
here. Yeah,
humor?
I'll be going first.
Okay.
Okay. I'll put the box down. Okay.
Okay.
We do not know what these are. These.
The Galaxy will have a player sent off.
So you have to argue for
I have to argue why that's going to happen.
Well, then who's it going to be?
Williams.
Well,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fine choice.
Williams. It's just going to be one of those games. We're going to be up 2-0. We're going to be up 2-0. And the Galaxy, you know how they get. They're chippy, they're annoying.
how they get.
So we're up 2-0, and you're also confident that the referee is going to be competent
Yes,
enough
because
to do
what's
this.
going to happen is the Galaxy players, they get all pissy. You know how they do that?
Yeah?
I'm not wrong. Like, they just do that.
the
game
hand
in, game
gestures.
out. They just get so angry. And
Derek Williams, yeah.
Derek Williams, his cleats are going to be up. He's going to come into maybe like Mahala, late challenge,
Okay.
sent off, straight red.
Yeah, let's just hope it's not as bad as the challenge he had last season. But
No, I
I haven't
hope
seen
not.
a lot of red
I'm just saying.
in the LAFC season.
in LAFC season, I was about to say,
Or
in MLS
opponents.
this past week, we saw quite a few reds going.
Raheem
You know what?
red cards?
All these people are
Will
saying
Raheem
red cards.
play?
The pro refs won't do it. The refs won't do it. You know what? This is going to be the one game where it's going to go in our favor.
I mean, it could be a pro ref, but they're just not the ones that pick the designation.
No.
Yeah,
No.
right.
Right, so it's U.S. Open Cup that picks, so it could be a pro ref, but it could also be someone outside the system.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, do I get the big
Maxie,
one?
Yeah.
Your turn.
I hope I get the same special effects.
Yeah, do you get the smoke?
Do I get the smoke?
Did you bring your own?
I guess no smoke.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
That's not a special effect.
That is.
That's how Max stays cool, calm, and collected during the show.
There's a lot of options in here. The Reds never give cards when they foul LAFC. That's something to discuss, maybe for another day.
I love that you put the thing as far away from me as
sorry.
you can, because I have to go next.
There you go. There you go.
Throw it at him.
The referee will have the game under complete control.
This is so stupid. Those happen to be
chance.
the ones we pick?
No chance.
There's no chance. This is going to.
Wait, but you have to argue for it.
Yeah, you have to argue.
Okay. The referee will have complete control because the law of averages suggests that will happen. Maybe LAFC and the Galaxy arrive here and they look at it a little differently. Maybe there's no handbags. Maybe it's a relatively normal game because we've had so many crazy games in the past. So the law of averages suggests that certainly. I'm sticking with the law of averages
People are
on
saying,
this one.
Good luck, Max.
No, we're talking about all referees.
Look, I can't. I try as I can to defend this.
Well, okay.
And this is not against the referees, but this is an untenable situation, right?
If
It's an
you are-
untenable
Yeah,
situation.
and just for everyone in the chat, these are completely random. Like, there's a bunch in there. It's not just like two.
Yeah.
Like, those
Well,
are. That's
you're not going to get a great answer
Hopefully the next
from me.
one's not referee,
Also-
but
Hey,
Also,
listen.
in the
I've
chat,
called some Open Cup games. They've been well officiated.
Vic saying you got
More often than not.
Marcus Rojo in the box there.
Marcus Rojo. We used that joke earlier. I should have used that before. But there you go. Marcus Rojo getting viral this week.
good for him. Hey, man.
For all the right reasons,
Hey,
right?
season's over.
He didn't look bothered at all.
Celebrate.
Season's over.
Cigar.
What I'm wondering, though.
It wasn't a cigar.
So we did just bring it up. It's not. There's
You
a
didn't
chance-
inhale either.
There's a chance it could not be a referee from pro. But
Some of them are not.
if you're a U.S. Open Cup and you understand the situation, you've got to bring in one of the top refs.
Yeah.
You have to, right?
There's no way
Or-
you can have a college
Hey.
referee trying to deal with
It's
this.
I mean,
big-
or maybe
listen.
does it make it for better entertainment value if you throw in like a AYSO ref?
I mean, U.S. Open Cup does need all the entertainment value and publicity they can get. So who knows?
Yeah, but this is a big one.
There's a smoke with the
That's a
box.
good thing. You have
All
to
right.
look at who the
If
officials are.
this
It's
is
a big
about
part of it.
officials, I'm going to be upset.
Then Pandora's box is
If
going
this is
down.
about officials, I'm pulling another one. Okay.
Going back to where it came from.
All right. This game will go to penalties. And let me tell you why. The two teams, a little bit nervy.
Yeah.
No one wants to lose. The Galaxy don't want to lose their streak of playing well against LAFC at Dignity. And to be frank with you, the Galaxy don't necessarily play to win these games anyways. They just play to muck the games up and just not let LAFC play their game. So as a result, if the two forces come together, they'll be about even. And look, if things would have gone the way they should have in that other game, technically it would have been a draw. And Chris Penso decided to wipe that out. So I think we're on tap for another draw if things are right. So there you go. Draw,
this is going to be a grind.
penalties.
And
So
Maxime,
penalties are
Maxime
very
saves
realistic.
all 4.
Yep. The wall. Do you know how do you say it in French?
Not gonna do it.
Okay. Well, that was Pandora's box.
We don't
Yeah,
go
that
around the
was
horn
fun.
again?
I know. After
Did you guys enjoy that segment? We can bring it back.
next time, less referee decisions.
Yeah, the referees, but now we got everyone upset because we're talking about officials here.
Okay, here we go. Ugh.
So those in the chat, time now to ask us some questions that we can hopefully answer. Maybe we can answer on
Hopefully,
behalf
we
of
can
somebody
answer
else.
every
So bring them on.
Well,
Bring
we
it.
got a
Any-
great room today. I
Any
can
kind of
feel
question
it.
you have.
Would you answer if they asked who you voted for, Max?
Wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty open for about that.
I got some questions that some people were going to ask Maxime, and I think we can answer them instead.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Sure. So while they're getting their questions ready, you guys get your questions
Jay David,
together.
that was worth it. They liked the Pandora's box. Andres liked the Pandora's
Okay,
box.
I will say
Tabla
for the
says do it
record,
again.
it was all completely my idea.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
I had my doubts.
We'll bring it back. Well,
Just
while,
about the toilet paper
while
question.
you guys get your questions for us, I will posit a question that was sent to us for Maxime. It was better goalkeeper, Fabian Barthez or Oliver Kahn? Who it was probably brought up because Maxime got to meet Oliver Kahn this past week. He was at LAFC training. I'm sure he might have had him front of mind. Although, didn't he tell us he's a Manchester United fan? So maybe conflicted there. Obviously, one of Manchester United's biggest victories of all time was against Oliver Kahn.
Yeah.
Fabian Barthez
He's
played
kind of
for Manchester United.
He's kind of a little bit like both. You know, he's a strong, robust, uncompromising.
Against
Oliver
Portland, he was
Kahn.
looking a lot
and
like
he's got the athleticism
Fabian
of
Barthez.
Fabian Barthez. But Barthez was, you know, that was this diminutive goalkeeper.
Who's your choice?
That's a tough one. I was always enamored by Barthez because of the type. Because I didn't really see a goalkeeper like that.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be 6'3" and imposing, and he kind of bucked the trend along with Jorge Campos and guys like that. So I enjoy those kind of keepers because Conejito Perez, who played till he was in his 40s, was kind of like that. Small in stature, very active, very athletic.
Mm-hmm. I'm going Oliver Kahn.
Just because
Just the
of
mystique
my,
is scary. I saw him at
he took
training.
a bite at somebody
in a
once.
nice sweatshirt and a
Yeah,
collar.
he would.
He had a sweatshirt and a collared shirt at training. He's still terrifying.
Yeah, he is a
just
big
because
dude.
of my age, I haven't seen enough of the two.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
don't-
just being
do you even know who we're
completely
talking about?
honest. No. Yes, I do. But it's like I just haven't
Right.
seen enough of either of them to be able to be like,
Both are-
I like this guy more.
Was Kahn on the 90 team that won the World Cup?
Dude, I was
both
born
probably
in
won
like
World Cups.
2003.
No, not in 90.
No?
No. Maybe as a reserve. I don't think he was.
Okay, so then winning
Okay.
Euros with Germany,
Yeah.
96.
All right, so there's a question from Juan. Who would you choose if we were going to PKs?
Okay,
Let's
five
twist,
players.
No, let's twist that around. Who's a player that you don't want taking a PK?
For LAFC.
Because we can all say, okay, Vela, B-Rod, Chicho, right? Like we can say who we want taking pens. Who do we not want?
Who do we
Kellen Acosta
want taking
probably takes a pen.
See, my mind naturally goes to a guy with maybe like less experience in this matchup. So
Remember, by
it
the
would be
way,
like a Mahala, but at the same time, Mahala scored that goal against Cruz Azul, so it's like the moment's probably not too big for him. But I think naturally I go to a guy with less reps in that situation.
Who missed? Was it
someone said
Latif who
blessing.
missed
Latif missed.
against-
missed.
Simon missed one.
Simon, well, they both
Missed
did.
the penalty, so-
Simon missed the one that if he would have made it, they would have gone on. It would have been over. Latif missed to extend, and that's how they lost in that semifinal.
Cristostomo.
Hey, got in the game. Got some minutes
Fair
for
play.
Danny.
Yeah, well, he goes along Mahala. You're not sure.
There's a question.
How do you say his name?
Chrysostomo.
Yeah, that's good.
There was a question. Are we going to talk about the broadcast later?
Let's talk about it now.
Okay.
How'd you guys feel about the broadcast, Max?
I know someone asked
preemptive.
about, and I'm going to defend. I'm not going to defend, but this is the situation with Univision. They are really good at what they do, and the MLS broadcast is way down the priority list, which it should not be. And they probably have to expand their staff. And then there was a 5-hour rain delay, so this game gets pushed back. But clearly,
This game
their
is not
focus-
the one problem, though.
No, this one's not the problem, but the focus is on Liga MX, the focus on world football, which they do there. I'm in Univision studios once every other weeks in Miami, so I get to see them, and they do a great job. Unfortunately, MLS has to intervene and talk to them and go, they cannot be treated like this. If you have to spend some money and bring in a producer and a broadcaster to do it, you should do that because this was It's not me even saying it, it's just the responses. I've never seen such a massive response from folks.
It felt like they didn't actually realize they were live. And I'm being like genuine when I'm saying that. It felt, especially like the commentary itself, it felt as if someone was just like,
yeah. And look,
talking to themselves.
Jose Hernandez is a great announcer. You hear him do Liga MX, it's fantastic. But I get the feeling they're saying, this is not your top priority. This is your priority. They're there all day covering games.
But you're just talking about this one game, and on a whole, this is how bad it's been.
Yeah. There's times where there's no commentary for the first 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but it's weird.
Well, MLS needs to get with their broadcasters because, to your point, it's actually not just Univision. Fox does this as well. ESPN does this. We know Univision, Fox, ESPN can all do great broadcasts. They've all done World Cups. They all do stellar jobs in their international coverage or their Liga MX coverage. But MLS says just pay us some money and put on the games, and then doesn't go to them and demand things. And I think you're right, Max. Now is the time to demand things, because as much as you need some money in your pockets, and I know that this league sorely needs that investment, I think they're going to get a little bit of it, maybe not the full way that they wanted, but more than anything, they need presentation standards, and they need to go to the Univisions or whoever it is that buys in and say, that's fine, you're giving us money, that's great, but that's not where it ends. We need it to be done this way, and this way, because could you imagine the Premier League saying, just do the games whatever way you want? Like, they would not do that. They simply would not do that. And even if Sky Sports, who is well respected and does a lot of those Premier League games, mailed it in, you can be sure as hell on Monday, somebody from the Premier League is at Sky Sports' office and screaming at people. So MLS needs to get angry about that.
Yeah, MLS, we're not there yet, but you've got to change it. I see for Jonathan and Philly getting the booth, I'm all for it. But this falls on Univision where they have to prioritize. Look, we don't know what the next broadcast deal is. We don't know if Univision's going to be involved. So who knows? And by the way, Hector mentioned how the first half commentator, that's something they do at Univision and in Latin America and in Mexico a fair bit. One announcer calls the first half, one announcer calls the second half. I would go crazy if I was involved in that.
Yeah, imagine.
I do not want any part of that.
Taps you on the shoulder, Max, you're good.
No thanks. But it is what it is.
Especially when the second commentator just goes.
Yeah. And look, the second goal was missed too. That's just a production.
Oh yeah, another thing. Directors of soccer in this country, it's a very easy game to direct. Just keep the angle wide. Don't go tight. Don't go tight while the ball is in play. Do not do replays while the ball is about to be in play or is in play. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science.
We watched the La Nucia game also before. Like, there's so many times in too many games, especially in the United States, when they'll cut to a fan or a close-up.
Yeah.
When it's like a counterattack. You just don't do that. Don't cut to a close-up of the coach. What are you doing, man?
I think,
future soccer director, Connor Kalopsis.
The best way to end this is, Max Bretos has said this multiple times, the problem is this: there needs to be more soccer people making these decisions. To Connor's point, it's somebody that's probably done baseball. It's like, it's a little slow right now. Let's go see if we can get some emotion from the crowd or from a coach or something else. No, get a soccer person, get a lot more soccer people into place, let them do their jobs. The NFL model does not work for us. The NHL model does not work for us. Let us do a soccer model and let us do it correctly.
Actually, I'll leave it.
There's so much to talk about on
There is so much to talk about, but we'll
talk about it.
Should we wrap it with somebody asked, we'll wrap questions with goal scores and predictions for Galaxy. This will be our one time to go on record for it.
Okay. Yeah. Vince, you start because you brought it up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. 2-1 LAFC. Vela gets a goal because he loves scoring against the Galaxy. And Chicho. And then for the Galaxy, Chicharito.
LAFC 1-0. 1-0. Brian Rodriguez scores a triumph in the second half.
I really, 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 really want to pick a clean sheet. I just can't ever see that happening in El Tráfico games. So I am going to go 2-2. LAFC wins in pens. Thank you. Anyway, we did this thing.
Should we give out some prizes?
Yeah, we should give out some prizes.
Or a prize.
Last game, we did players to watch, as we do every week.
I thought you were going to reach into something in your jacket.
No, I'm just fixing a wire. Do you guys see it?
No.
Anyway, shouldn't have done that. But we have this
open it
prize.
up and have, like, watches for sale.
the six-way tie this week. There's 6 people who got the same amount of points.
I saw that in NASCAR once, a 6-way tie, 6 wide.
Ow! How can you go 6 wide?
It was incredible. It was Talladega. It was a big track.
Whoa.
It's really pumping.
Wow, the smoke is really going there. What did you have for lunch?
This hat's been in B-Real's car.
Be real with the shout out to 3252 in the verses.
Okay, so to pick
Everyone
the
here is
players to
fired.
watch winner,
We're
what
in
you
trouble.
guys have all been waiting for, shall we just get it over with?
Yes, get
Please
it
do.
over.
Random hand in the shot.
What does it say? Alexi?
Alexi
14
underscore
underscore
Alexi 14 underscore.
In the chat?
Butchered that.
Alexi in the
Yeah,
chat?
if you're in the
Is
chat,
Alexi in
if
the
that's your
chat?
handle and you're in the chat.
So to claim your prize, just DM us on socials, and we'll collect your information and send it to you.
By the way, the winning combination was Carlos Vela, Sebastian Driussi in that game,
Which is fair.
which it makes kind of understand why now you have a six-way tie, because I'm sure a lot of people picked
The two
Driussi, Vela,
big
the
DPs.
the two best players.
Anyway, this hat's yours now. We also have a lot of other prizes that we'll be giving out throughout the season. So if you guys have yet to play Players to Watch, which I hope you have. Whoa.
God damn it, it's Lawless.
It's Lawless. If it is Alexi Lawless's burner,
It's not. It can't be.
you don't know
Can't be.
that.
You don't.
Well, maybe it is.
It's true. You don't.
You don't
His
know. He could have a
burner.
burner, and put it on Lawless to have a burner and use his own name. He's like, well, it has two L's.
Just
It's not me.
he has enough
Luis,
hats.
We are doing a watch along, I believe. Or are we just doing a pre and post?
We will be doing a watch along one way or the other. We just don't know where it will be from.
Yeah, it may be at the stadium, maybe here in studio, but either way. Anyway, play Players to Watch. Do you not want a
Yeah.
team signed
Yeah.
hat, guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
I'll be calling the game too. I just want to say that.
Yeah, Max
but
Bretos
I'm
will be
calling it down the line.
3,000 miles away.
I can't wear the black and gold glasses here. It's gonna be.
Oh, is this
down.
your disclaimer?
This is my disclaimer.
Okay, there you
Saying
go.
that.
Ladies and
This is
gentlemen,
for the
you heard
league.
him. We would rather hear
I'll
Max
enjoy
Bretos.
the goals.
We'll take a
fair and balanced.
right down the middle Max Bretos over whatever they normally give us. So we'll take that.
It's usually 70-30 Max Bretos. This will be 50-50.
Okay.
51-49.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're winding down. That means we're getting into stoppage time. The fourth official has raised the board. It's our chance to talk about anything, really, at this point, especially now that we don't have the other shows. We can just go crazy. But Connor, you're up first. What are you going to rant and rave about?
Yeah, as you said, we kind of like to keep it specific to LAFC, but this is now, we can go
Open
a little
it
more
up.
broad. I'm going to
Pandora's
stick
box
with
has done this to
LAFC,
us.
though. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show, Carlos Vela scoring. I'm not going to just talk about him scoring. I'm going to say that the pressure is off for Carlos Vela. You guys, take a deep breath, take a chill pill.
Guarda.
Look, he scored. He's back. He's not going to be putting up the numbers as he did in 2019. We know that, and we've talked in many shows before what he is doing to provide to this LAFC team and make them that much better. Take a chill pill. The pressure's off. He's going to play his game, and when Carlos is happy, he's going to be playing his best, and I think he is. He's going to be scoring here and there. He may not score here and there. It's just pressure's off. Let him play. Let him relax. He's the best player in the league. Still will be. Just take a chill pill. Carlos, take a chill pill, and you guys, take a chill pill. Max?
I like that, Connor. I'm going a little bit.
You try to get it off you. You're like, and Bretos?
I was rambling.
Vince, you're
But
next, I've been told.
Vince.
Yeah, Bretos is not even next. Okay, I'll take over. So Sunday morning, I wake up, having my coffee,
Sunday morning.
celebrating an LAFC victory, which made me very happy after all the delays. And I check Twitter and I see a lot of people saying, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And they're talking about football, they're talking about soccer, they're talking about the EPL. And I'm wondering, wow, did we get this many new fans? And then the more I looked at it, the more I realized what was really going on. And stop it. If you're using the excitement and oh my God, this is so exciting to push your point about Pro Rel and how much better it is in Europe, come on, like haven't you been here? It happens every year. Yes, it was exciting, but it really wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Actually, Leeds is the first team
Was
in
that you?
11
Is that what you asked to be put in the
years.
graphic?
Yes, Leeds was the first team in 11 years to actually play their way out of the relegation zone. So actually, guys, normally there's not this much going on. And so it bothers me so much that this has become a personality type for some of you, is that Pro Rel is so much a part of your personality that you got to try to cram it into everything. Hey, guess what? Decision day is actually very exciting. And you might say, MLS, there's too many teams that get into the playoffs. Okay, a given year, 14 teams get into the playoffs. You're celebrating Leeds getting out of 18th place.
Yeah.
So who's the wrong one here now? So look, it's different kinds of excitement. Everyone can love it. I'm okay with people saying they're excited about it, but don't try to cram your Pro Rel stuff down my throat after.
It was an exciting Sunday, but you'd see the Pro Rel people go,
Yeah.
And
I was right. I was
Okay.
right. No, you weren't.
But it's true. It is exciting, and we're not saying it's not exciting.
Yeah.
But just don't use it as a way to
Just live
push
in-
your own agenda
Yeah.
on why it needs to be in the U.S.
Live in the moment.
Relax. Live in the moment. Be happy.
Enjoy it.
That said, I'm going to talk about promotion relegation.
Oh, great.
specifically with Jesse Marsch. Did we overhype Jesse Marsch? 100%. My English friends are going, stop it, Bretos. It's just, he took over and they were in 17th place. He finished, they were in 17th place.
Your accent's all 6s and 7s.
Oh, come on, mate. No, you're up in Yorkshire, mate.
It's part Michael Caine, part some Cockney.
Yeah, it's a little too much
gangster.
Michael Caine. This is a big deal. And did we go overboard? I know I certainly did. And I watched every Leeds game for the last 6 weeks because this is something we've never seen before. I've covered this league, or I've covered this sport for longer than I care to mention. And at the very beginning, if you had a guy go to the Premier League who was an American and they said he'd like to coach here, he'd be laughed out of the room. Bob Bradley got there and tried. It didn't go well. They pulled the rug on him. I was still shocked that another American got that opportunity in Jesse Marsch. He got it, and he did what was asked of him, a very important role. Rescue us so that we don't get dropped after we just came back up. Jesse Marsch has changed perceptions, and more than anything, I know the thousands and thousands of coaches in the United States that previously never thought that was possible. And I'm not saying that all of a sudden these American coaches are going to go to the Premier League, but now they know it's possible. There's a path. Jesse Marsch started very low on the totem pole coaching, and then he moved forward. Now, you could do that too. Maybe you could do it. Because remember, the Premier League was, am I looking at the wrong camera?
Yeah.
Okay. The Premier League.
I was going to say something, but it's fine. Go on.
I saw you shifting your
You're doing a great
cards. I keep doing that.
He's
the
fired up.
Premier League was
you go.
all British managers at one point. Then Arsene Wenger came up, Jose Mourinho. The list goes on and on.
Klopp.
Manuel Pellegrini, Klopp, Tuchel. It's changing. And maybe there's room for Americans.
You know what? I just can't wait for the day in the future in which an American coach is coaching a top Premier League team, and then you know what? He calls it soccer.
Well, Jesse calls it football all day.
As a power move. I know, and most American coaches that have gone overseas have called it football. I just can't wait till one goes, you know what? I'm calling it soccer.
What was
Can't
funny,
do anything about it.
I like that you brought up Bob Bradley, because what was funny was if the English media likes to hold that over Bob, like, look how short he was hearing.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Yeah.
So it's like when Jesse came, they're like, okay, we're going to break the record this time, and we're going to get him even fewer games. And Jesse made them eat it. And now he's going to be around for another season, and they're really going to have to wear it.
He was on Sirius XMU this morning, and he was very pointed at the media. He goes, this is ridiculous. I'm dealing with it every day. So I'm sure he's like, It's got to change. It is absurd, the perception of America. Maybe it won't ever change.
I'll say thickety, we're going for that Jack in the Box partnership. No, we're not? Well, I'm just hearing we're not.
Trejo's
Why?
Tacos?
Why? We should be doing that.
What did we say about responding to the people in your ear? Those people can't hear you. They can't hear it.
They can't hear me?
No, they can't hear it.
Anyway, don't forget the show and Angels Wear Boots are both available as podcasts as well. So simply search 110 Football on your platform of choice, and you will find us. Once again, Angels Wear Boots goes live in just a couple of hours right here on 110 Football's YouTube channel. Megan Reyes, Nina
Treat it like a
Kiefer,
rain delay.
and Jen Munoz are joined by Angel City defender Sarah Gordon. The content continues this Wednesday, though. We've got another LAFC watch party as LAFC takes on the Galaxy in the U.S. Open Cup. Vince and I will be with you from 7:20 p.m. And Saturday, the Black and Gold are back home to host San Jose at the Bank. Vince, Jessica, and the defenders, Philly and Scarf, will be with you. The tailgate pregame starts at what time? 2:30 p.m.
Where are you going to be?
Out.
Wait, how many vacations do you get?
How do you know it's a vacation?
It's not a vacation. He's
I
on
don't
the
know,
clock.
man. I'm breaking my back over here, content every day, and you're just gone all the time.
I have a little vacation
Anyway,
coming up.
thank you guys so much. Encore. No.
Encore?
No.
Play the hits.
2-hour show. No.
Tune in for Angels Wear Boots.
Do it, yes.
Bye, guys.
Follow 110 Football.